Hey, I'm Suzy, and welcome to 30 Minutes of Dance. Today's class is dancer cross training, where we will focus on the core to help tap into vitality. So let's get centered together today. Clear your space. I'll be using a yoga mat, but you could always do this practice on a rug. We'll also use a block. You could use a book or even a couch cushion, as we'll use it for a little bit of feedback and to help release the low back. Have water nearby. I'll be barefoot. You can join me or wear dance shoes, ballet shoes, socks, athletic shoes. It all works today. Have a moment to kind of sink in, walk your feet out wider than your hips. And let's begin treading. We'll start with an easy warm-up. Oh, I have my buddy Henry here today just to oversee and make sure we're working hard enough here. He'll remind us to breathe and relax. Yes, swinging the arms right and left. Easy wrapping around, moving the body, deepening the breathing, and starting to get the energy moving. Maybe take the arms a little higher, even over the top as you're treading side to side. Little flick of the foot, feeling the weight shift. You can't know center unless we fall off center every once in a while, and remember how to come back, how to come home to the center of yourself. Arms up and over, a little wrap side to side. Maybe even let your body turn with it if that feels okay in your low back. And if my arms are higher than your arms, it could all work right here as well. All right, what's the attitude of your effort? Starting to feel a bit more grounded in this wide base. Take the feet out, turned out slightly, and then easy lunge, side to side, hands on the thighs or the hips. If you need some support, you can even use the hands to send the tailbone back and the hips back, creasing at the hips. So you can pitch slightly forward with the chest, scoop the tail up in the back, and feel like you can come out on a limb here. Arms reach out to the side, maybe even sweeping, tap one knee, other knee. So it has the same essence of the wrap, but a wider base, deepening the lunge. And the arms could go up and over. Again, let the breath be the impetus for the movement. All right, that's the beginning. Up and over, breath by breath. You might even turn and come onto the ball of the back foot. So it's a wrap and a runner's lunge. Yeah, I'm doing this on the sticky mat, but you could be on the floor. Yeah, just make sure you can easily move and that the foot and the knee are tracking in the same line. So if you need to pick up your foot to do that, if it's a little too sticky, option. And then it starts to turn into, like a little second position and a runner's lunge. Second with a wrap. Maybe you're even kind of pushing the arms out or up and over. Yeah, whatever feels good. Getting a sense of being in the body, finding that middle ground, and then pivoting off. Center, and headlight to the hips are steering this. Opening up the front of the hips. From sitting all day, often we get kind of tight there. So this is just an easy way. Second position, parallel. To open up the quad, but it's fun. Up and over. Now up and over. If you can, kind of cut out the middle. And then bring it back in. And the feet come towards hips width. Inhale. Now, bring the feet together. You could kind of heel toe it out a little. Just again, getting a sense of how you plant your roots. Taking it out and bringing it in. If it's super sticky, do one foot at a time. All right, be gentle with the knees. All right, your path in and out. It's building some stability in the lower leg. And all of this just to prepare for turning the legs out in first position. Again, doesn't have to be super turned out, and if you feel like you need some support, use a chair or a wall or a friend, and come to balance, bringing the hands port-a-bras out to the side. Again, scooping elevator ride for the spine, yeah, so you're not sending the tail back or pitching forward this time. It's all in one line of action, so streamline it. Good, now let's test our balance with the next one. Inhale, press down through the feet to lift up through the spine. Pull in at your core, balance, hover, inhale, smile even, and then exhale, take the legs out, second position. Again, rather than shifting back, straight up and down, and then take the arms out, scoop and gather. Be mindful of how the legs are tracking, inner thighs to outer knees, knees towards the second and third toes. Yeah, right down through the center, and then extend. Let's try one more here. And then test the balance. Keep holding this ball of energy before you. Root down to rise up, lifting the heels, little releve. Could be here all day, just hovering, breathing. Take the arms out to the side, start to get a little wobbly, maybe some spirit fingers, and then plie, rebound. Again, 1 foot at a time if you want, or together. Take it out. And now just your right leg dips down, left, down. So this has a smaller sort of framework than what we did earlier, but attitude of a little butterfly in and out. Yeah, see now it's way more fun. In and out. All right, so we have the form, but then we bring a little flavor to the top. Wide base, pulling back to center. Last one. Good, easy lunge. Now, I'm just going to circle and drop. Circle and drop. Weight shift, feeling the center. And then, other side, circle and drop. All right, so it's easy, low, grounded. You don't have to pick up the foot very high unless, as we go to the other side, you want to lift and drop. Lift and drop. So a little brush back. One long line. Last one. Other side, reach and drop. Reach and drop. Yes, you have the drop swing. As we go out and come back in to the center. Other side, sweep it, sink it, up and over, kick and breathe. Other side, here we go. Now, one side's way more awkward than the other. I don't know about you. But we're waking up the backside. Back to the middle, plie. Now, hands can come to the thighs if you need that support. Hips, or even a little higher so you get a feel of the rib cage and the low belly and how that all integrates. Now, I'm just moving because it feels good. I hope it's feeling good to you too. The hands wherever you need, even fingertips to shoulders. And then we'll start this circular motion on the upper body. Yeah, I'm just tapping my feet because it feels good in between. All right, so you start to stir from the low back, rib cage, shoulders, other direction. So tapping into the core awareness helps stabilize us, rights our world back to center. Good, now, if it feels okay, kind of drop into the legs. Hands could be on your shoulders or out in goalpost. Very matrix moment there. Oh. Or even behind your head. All right, just swirling above. And now, let's go in the other direction. And then try it on as you figure it out. Does it feel better to bring the hands in, to open them up, to hold your head in your hand, and continue to stir. Good, back to the middle. Rise up, you're gonna swing out and in, cross over, out and in. Let it really reach. And then feel how the pelvic floor, right, and inner thighs and the floor of the pelvis bring you back to center. The breath in the rib cage brings you back to center. And that little bit of swing, helping to get your breath moving. And that's how we energize, that's how we build vitality, is the strength in the lower body, the connection to the core, the depth of the breath, right? And the attitude of your effort. Heels come back in to center. Now let's bring ourselves down to the floor. Hopefully you're feeling warmed up, yeah? And have your props nearby. Using any support you need on your dismount. We'll inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, bend the knees, sit back in a chair. Use the support as you need. Step one leg back in a lunge. Oh, we've already been doing a bunch of lunges. And then come on down, hands and knees. When you get there, knees a little wider than the hips, big toes together. Sit back towards your hips for a moment, just to transition. Inhale, come forward. And again, sitting back. If your knees are sensitive, you can always roll the mat over, or you could use a blanket, pillows. Good. Now, come onto your belly. So we'll explore the back core. If you like, you can come to forearms and then lower all the way down. And that movement we were exploring with the hands behind the head or at goalpost or fingertips, even arms wide, we'll play with here now. So the lower body is breathing into the earth, legs are long. You might even, stay on your fingertips and your forearms for a moment, just to get a feel of the tailbone pressing down, the tops of the feet, even the tops of your pinky toes pressing downward. And then pull the elbows in slightly closer, elbows and shoulders in line. Round the spine slightly, just pull the navel in towards the back body. So you're gathering all the good stuff. And then inhale, extend the spine. It may even feel like you're pulling the elbows in toward you as you connect the front of the body to the back of the body. Navel in, and then extend the spine. You feel this rebound of energy. Round and release, and then lengthen, extend. Good, now come onto your belly. Windshield wiper the legs side to side. And then resting, perhaps stack your hands, rest your forehead on your hands. You can work there. You could also work with your head down, even a pillow if that feels better. And then inhale, lift the upper body, belly, ribs, chest, and lower back down. So I'm using my hands to support my head, but I'm really trying to use my core to lift my torso. Now keep pressing into the tops of the feet. Try this once or twice more. And if you want, you could fly the arms out. If you have your head down one side of the cheek, or one cheek on the floor, go ahead and swap it out to the other. Maybe even take the arms out to the side, let them fly. Palms down towards the floor. You can bend the elbows. All of this counts, so make it yours. You could even reach one arm out and up and over and the other arm back. But you feel how this is connecting the core to the back body. We're gonna sit so tall after this. Keep pressing into the legs. The legs are keeping you grounded. And then both hands come in close. It's cobra. And then exhale, peel yourself off the floor. Walk your knees in. Again, not everyone's hips are gonna come down to the heels. Work in a range that is yours. And release the low back. Now we'll come to sit. So take one hip down and come to sit as you're comfortable for a moment with maybe your right leg in front. If that's not working for you to have the legs bent, you can take one leg out. You can take both legs out. You could even do this sitting in a chair. Yeah, just breathe. That's all I'm asking. Just keep breathing. Now let's stir from the core. You'll inhale, take your chest forward, your ribs to the left, scoop and hug it out with yourself, and then to the right. So we're circling, kind of coming off center, over to the side, over, and around. Good, one more. Just like this. Just notice how you hold true to the center of yourself. Now, like you're underwater moving, just float one leg and then the other leg. And then you could even kind of get splashy here, one and the other. And bring it up towards tabletop. If this is too much, take the hands out to the side, lift the chest, the shoulders, legs don't have to straighten. You could. I mean, life's a kick. But if it's too much is too much. Just play with activating the core and then sitting tall in that awareness. Again, it could be your right leg in front or send it out to the side. Again, it's about the upper body spiraling. So all of this could happen with the legs straight or seated on a chair. Let's go, stirring it up, forward, side, let your spine dance. Big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. It's just a release, create some space at your center. Deep belly breathing. Exhale, one more. Nice work. Come back to the middle. Let the shoulders lift and then lower. Come onto your side. Have your block and your strap nearby and we'll lie back. As you come onto your back, center, extend the legs out into like an X shape. This is like one of my favorites, yeah. So the legs are gonna go out a little wider than your hips. You could point and flex and let them get moving some here. And then extend your right arm up towards the sky and your left leg up towards the sky. Just like folding the arm and the leg in half across one another there on the diagonal. And then send it back down. Let's do the same side. Exhale, arm and leg. So we're integrating the ribs and the hips, creating that like X across the center of the body that pulls the limbs into the core. Now let's try a few on the other side. So left arm, right leg, cross it over if you can. Now your arm may not be as straight, your leg may not be as straight. It's okay, you're moving from your center. Yeah, see what you can connect as you come across. One more. Now, right hand behind your head, left knee in, and then send it back out. Let's do that 4 times. Coil in and out. Rest your head in your hand as much as you can. Heavy, 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 easy through the jaw. And release. Other side. Exhale, curling up and across and sending it out. Up and across. Nice and easy. Navel pulls in. One more. Good, release. Now plant your feet. Take your right leg across in figure 4. So the ankle is resting on the thigh and your foot is flexed, very conscious and active. Now lift the shape of the legs in toward you and curl up and across, left shoulder toward the knee. And then take it back down, heel taps, exhales. We're not doing a bunch of these. So the few we do are very mindful, slow and deliberate. All right, taking care of yourself the whole time. Release, cross the knee over and drop this to the right. Feel the stretch across the lung. Feel your wings expand here. One more breath. And then pull the navel in to bring yourself back to center. Plant the foot. Windshield wiper the legs. Just gonna rinse it off from side to side. Good, exhale. Now you'll bring the left leg across. Ankle crosses over the thigh. Keep the foot flexed. Interlace the hands behind your head. Let your head drop back. Now, draw the navel in and up towards your shoulder blades as you pick up the right foot. Then draw up and across, taking the right chest shoulder toward the left hip and knee. So tap down and then come up and across on the diagonal. Moving from the center outward. Good, one more, slow-mo. Gather, cross it over, breathe, and then extend the leg, take the knee over, drop the legs to your left. Feel the line of energy you're opening across the right side body. Deep breath in. Funnel the belly into the back body, pour into the earth, and release. Come back to center. Now, turn the legs out so it's a butterfly shape. And if it's too much on the thighs, you could also put like blankets underneath, blocks underneath. You could also walk the feet away so it's not so dramatic. Yeah, it doesn't have to be up here. Bring it down where it works. And then keep the hands resting. Create a cradle for your head here. As you exhale, pull the navel in. Glide it up between your shoulder blades and let that be what rebounds your head off the floor. So you're pulling in, hollowing out like a suction cup through the core. Then let your head drop down, relax completely. Exhale, navel in, scoop it up, and lift. Notice all the power you have at your center. That shaking, that trembling. Let's go again. Yes, that's vitality, that's life. You're harnessing that power in the center. Now, for fun, you could come up and feel the vibration, feel that little bit of tremor, that little wiggle at your core, and then stir. So this similar like rotation of the rib cage we were playing with, you can feel essence of that, elements of that here as you explore different ways of kind of reaching across the body, different ways of moving. And then just come on down. Take a deep breath. Switch the hand that's on top, if that's a thing. Yeah. And then exhale, pull the navel in, hug and hollow out, scoop up. As you come up and you get into that vibration, now start to stir in the other direction or massage your head, your neck, your shoulders with your hands. Start to move and bobble the head. So it's like free form, but you're connected, you're tapping into the core. Take a deep breath, reach, hands to head, lengthen, come on down, relax. Now, when you're done, you can still feel like, oh, this energy you've been churning, and now it starts to flow. Plant your feet on the floor. Bring the block to place between the inner thighs. So I'm going to go sort of narrowest way there. And then we were just in a position where we're opening the inner thighs. Now we're going to activate. I want you to squeeze the inner thighs together and kind of squeeze the block and release. Again, squeeze the block. So plant your feet, squeeze the block, and release. So now we're bringing the lines together. Yeah, from the outside coming into the center, and then give it a squeeze. Feel that inner strength. From the base of the pelvis, zip it all the way up towards the crown of the head. Now, root your feet down, squeeze the block, lift the hips any amount. You could drive the outer arms down. You could hold on to the edges of your mat, but keep your gaze straight ahead. This is a bridge lift. Then you come right back down out of the bridge lift. Squeeze the block and lift your feet up off the floor so you come to tabletop. So that's it. You could do one leg at a time. That works too, if it feels like a hoist at all. All right, so from here, we're gonna bridge lift. Just a breath, squeeze, lower down, squeeze the block. And then again, it's one leg and then the other, or two legs come to bridge, or to tabletop. All these things, come back down. Now it's bridge, lift. Lift the chest, open the heart, take a deep breath. Squeeze the block to come down, and then lift the legs to tabletop. Good, let's do one more. Plant it, root and rise. Breathe, squeeze to lower, and then lift to tabletop. Now in tabletop, we're gonna keep the block there. Your hands will come to your side. You can do backs of the hands if that feels better in your shoulders, palms down to ground, or option to even take the hands underneath the hips if you need more support here. It's a shift to the right and the left, a little circle if you wish, yeah. So it's enough to go slightly to the right, slightly to the left, or start to circle. Now, if this is a lot of work, it is. So just tell yourself, it's okay, I'm feeling good, I'm in my body. If you need to kind of rein the legs in a little bit, you could also loop the strap around and just take a little bit of the stress off. Because the legs can be kind of heavy, I know. Switch the direction. So we can reel the legs in, keep squeezing the inner thighs around the block. Or we can release it all and tap into the core just a smidge more. If all of this is a little bit too much, just let it rock a little. Side to side, hip to hip. Awesome. And then come back to center. Woo! Release the block. Put the block underneath your hips. Okay. Blocks under the hips. If it feels interesting to you, you could stretch one leg long and same arm reaches up. Again, we're opening the front of the hip, but with very little effort. And then try the other side. Opposite arm reaches. Take a deep breath, bring the legs back in. Now, up to you, one knee and then the other. The legs are floating. Keep your gaze straight up. If you want, you could even extend the legs and look for the toes. They don't have to be really active. So now with the world upside down, we want to feel centered. We want to feel stable, connected, like we have enough awareness and energy to get us through maybe, confusing, challenging times when the world's upside down, but you are true to your core, centered, steady, connected. So as the legs extend, you might even take one leg away, so you start to feel like, oh, okay, that's out of my comfort zone, and then I come home to the center of myself. All right, so one leg kicks away an inch or two. Doesn't have to be big. All right, so it's a slow-mo flutter kick. Excellent. Let's do two more. So wake the thighs up some here. And then bring the legs in. You could allow the knees to fall out towards the side. It's like a upward facing frog. Happy baby-ish, also an option here. Using your hands to support the legs. This is easier with the block, maybe, because it brings the hips toward you. And then bring the legs back together. Plant one foot at a time on the floor. Lift your hips as high as you can. And then roll off to your side. Let's bring it back up to standing. Slow motion using the support. Come to all fours. Take a deep inhale. Maybe sit back hips to heels. And then stepping one leg forward, the other leg forward. Oh, we didn't even bother Henry one bit. He's just as relaxed as ever. Come back to the center. Roll the shoulders. Reach the arms out, side to side, treading. as you're moving the energy again, feel how it's all resonating in the center and flowing out. And then give yourself a great big hug. Right? That's how we bring energy in. Open back up, other arm on top. Just thank yourself for showing up today, for getting strong at your core. Have a beautiful day. I'm Suzy. I look forward to moving with you again soon.